Hi, I'm Rob Cram, and today we're taking a look at Gearbox Software's Borderlands 3 Director's Cut, which recently became available for consoles and PC. The damage is £11.99, but what do you get for the price of entry? In a nutshell, this DLC adds a rather neat set of murder mystery missions, culminating in a mini raid boss encounter, some new cards to work through, although only one is available as of now, a new Varkid raid boss to contend with, some bonus behind the scenes content, and finally some related gear to don for your Vault Hunters. Slight disclaimer here, before diving into the Director's Cut content, we started Borderlands 3 main game from scratch, using the Siren-based character Amara. We play solo, so our experiences are based on that. Obviously, Borderlands 3 features co-op play, which to be frank might be a preferred way to play this. In retrospect, after attempting to tackle the Director's Cut raid boss solo and only just beating the Seer boss, we can see why co-op is perhaps the better option. First things first, the murder mystery missions with the character Ava at the helm. After masses of battles running around various planets in the main game, these podcast style missions are actually pretty welcome. They have a slightly different nuance to them where you play detective and search for clues before chasing down the culprit. As expected, you will come up against plentiful opposition at times, but it's not just a full-on shooting fest. The missions take place on the same planets as the main campaign, that's Pandora, Promethea, Eden 6 and Necrotafeo. Rather than new locations, but due to their investigative nature, feel somewhat fresh. Each mission lasts approximately 15 to 20 minutes, of which there are 4 missions available. The last culminates in a mini raid boss type encounter with the Seer character. Now, we were around level 38, which is quite low, and managed to beat the Seer after several attempts. The Seer boss scales to your level. It's a neat fight, but does feature a boss that regenerates health if you don't shoot her helpers, and scatters your vision with all manner of effects. This boss is a bit of a bullet sponge though, and might take much longer to beat depending on what build your character is and what level you are. Still, it was a pleasant surprise to have such a powerful being to contend with at the end of that storyline. The second main piece of content for this DLC is the Homovius, the Invincible Varkid raid boss. Admittedly, we haven't bested this character yet. Once you pay the 500 Iridium price of entry, yes, that's correct, you cannot fight him unless you have this. You enter a small enclosed area with no means of escape. Cleverly, you begin by killing the lower forms of Varkid, which hatch and get stronger after so many kills. As you can imagine, this is a mixture of aerial and ground-based attacks. Once you've worked through the Varkid ranks, Homovius, the Invincible, appears with a whopping health bar to boot. Unfortunately, playing this solo with Amara wasn't easy, and it's probably better to tackle this boss with some co-op partners. If you do defeat the boss, then you are promised some of the best loot in the universe. Whoopee! Players can also work through a new vault card, with 2 more coming later this year, which is a little odd not having the content available right away. Still, there is some new gear to work towards if that's your calling. For our taste, it's not something we bothered much with, aside from unintentional completion of tasks via normal play. The final addition to this DLC is from the main menu, where you can take a peek at a selection of behind the scenes content, such as artwork and videos. Again, this is nice content to have if you are interested, but not really something players should pay for. Now to the crunch. Is Borderlands 3 Director's Cut worth it for the asking price? There are 2 perspectives here really. On one side, having just spent in excess of 35 hours playing through the main game, the new content didn't matter much, and perhaps there might be an element of Borderlands 3 burnout or fatigue. If it wasn't for this review, there was still plenty to go back to with the base content. So for newcomers, it's not an essential addition to the package as far as we're concerned. However, on the other side, players who've already invested X number of hours and in need of more content will find the additions interesting, but perhaps a little on the pricey side, considering how long it will take to see it all, 2 hours or less. Therefore, it's hard to fully recommend to both camps at the current pricing, unless you have deep pockets or just have to play something new as soon as it releases. That's not to say the DLC wasn't fun to play. It is good content, but generally more of the same within the sprawling Borderlands 3 universe. It would have been nice to perhaps have some new locations for the murder mystery missions and a less linear path or more investigations as a series. Even better, additional missions spanning multiple planets. As it stands then, Borderlands 3 Director's Cut is a neat inclusion, but it might be better waiting for a price drop. Borderlands 3 Director's Cut scores 7 out of 10. Okay, I'm Rob Cram, thanks for watching.